This week, we are excited to showcase the new features that you'll be able to download for free.
We do have a new website out, so you can kind of get a quick idea of what is going on in the new ride. Starting actually today, we will have this button activated here in maybe an hour or two or so. And then we do still have the kind of get a project quote stuff. If you're here today, you've clicked this button, register for our webinar, and then just some more information on what Ride is, how we deliver on our promise, the full software studio. We've got our blog on here. One of the big new things on here is our new pricing schedule too as well. So you'll hear us talk about, and we'll actually show in the app too, how we now have a free trial. Everything is now pay as you go. There's no more subscriptions within the program. So you only get charged when you're actually using it. And then we also released free cloud resources too, which is very exciting. You no longer have to pay for your first two projects or environments hosted on professional cloud resources such as Azure, Supabase. We have our own Git service too that we now roll as well. And then still we have our expert marketplace. And if you're just coming and looking for a CodeBuddy to build the project for you, we still have the custom quoting here.
Yep, I love that line where you just say pay only what you need at the last responsible moment. It's
Yes.
so true to form.
Yes. We used to have people used to have to sign up for hosting, which can be very expensive from day zero. Instead of now they can go, with Riot, it only takes days to build stuff. But in the past, you had to, went months and months and you were paying for all this hosting and you never really needed it until you were ready to push out to customers. So everything now is at that last responsible moment.
Yeah, I love it now because you can be a lot more exploratory. So you can actually use our new planning features and all those things just to try out a bunch of different ideas, and you're not committing all those costs and environments and things like you used to have to.
Correct. And then my favorite thing about this new site is there is a link to, well, a couple things. We've got partner stuff and blog and our library and stuff, some really good thought leadership resources on there. But my favorite thing is our docs too. So we have a really well thought out and really well executed docs site for CodeBuddy too, which goes over everything, setting up Ride, accessing Ride, all the way the different, and with great visuals on how to do everything, creating projects, more information about our new billing structure here as well, coding in Ride, coding tips, how to build your app, how to preview your app, publishing to different environments, our new features that you can publish to multiple different test and live environments, so you can test something before you push it out to customers. And then we put a lot more thought into our very unique architecture on how our starter kit works, how the professional architecture around our code works, so that this is not vibe coding, this is not just building tinker toys, this is for actually building full high quality production grade software.
What's great about this too is it is a living document. So we've just added a bunch of features into this newest version. We're going to be adding more and more. So it's really a good source of truth for you to come to, see what's new in there, see what's going on. If there's troubleshooting, if there are what are known issues, all those things are in one central spot for you to just kind of keep updated, know what to do, get rolling faster. Because again, yeah, like you said, these are for projects where you're wanting to build real things, build for your startup or your small to medium-sized business. You're wanting to build really good software with CodeBuddy. So we wanted to provide you the documentation to do so as well.
Yep. Good search tool too as well. So if you get stuck anywhere, come here, search it, and there's a good chance that we or any of the other code buddies or experienced users have dealt with it too as well. All right, so now on to the good stuff, Tanner.
Yes, let's do it.
All right, so we're going to jump over to CodeBuddy. So like I said, we will have that download link now. I can give you, since I'm already kind of into the bits, actually, I can show you what it looks like when you first get started with Ride. It'll ask you to create a new workspace. Workspace is just a shared space where you and other users, whether that's your team members, whether you want to bring on expert code buddies, can all work in the same space. They can all work on different tasks, deploy to the same solutions. They can all work on the same software planning. It's a really nice feature. That's how billing is tied into. So anyone in your workspace accesses your billing credits, and we make it very easy to collaborate with others to build that. So I've already set up several workspaces here. You can see my different workspaces. It makes it really easy to switch between workspaces too as well. And then also very easy to create a new workspace here. And like I said, nowadays, when you create a new workspace, you don't have to worry about paying for hosting. You don't have to worry about paying for subscriptions. It's all in this really nice pay-as-you-go structure here. So you can see my credit balance here. We give every new user on a new workspace, they get a $10 credit balance here. And then when you run out of balance, there's two ways to upgrade your credits. You can literally just add funds, add a static amount of funds right there as well, or you can set it to auto recharge. So you can say when my credit balance goes below $5, I want to bring it back up to the $20 amount there. And it's hard to give you an idea of what you can accomplish with just $10 of credits, but it's a lot. You
Yeah.
can actually go in there, you can plan stuff, you can project management stuff, you can actually build features with just the $10 free credit trial. So you can imagine, what you could put in with, even $100 onto CodeBuddy right now. Anything I missed there, Tanner, on pricing?
Nope, I think you hit the nail on the head. I mean, what I love about this too is it really becomes the ultimate collaboration space. Like you said, you can add your extra users. Really, especially if you're a non-technical founder, the ability to collaborate with your team,
Yep.
whether that be developers, freelancers, a code buddy, you can, just like you see here, add them in, get them into your projects, and get rolling.
Yep. We have two options for roles right now. There's owner, member. The only difference right now is that the owner is the only one that has access to the billing controls right now. So if you just want to bring on expert code buddy to work on, you can just assign them as a member. If you've got a co-founder, you can throw them on as an owner too as well. You click add user, and then when they log in, create the account under that same email, when it first pops up, they will see not a big dialogue, but a dialogue that says, do you want to accept an invite to this workspace from this other user? They click invite, and they are connected into that workspace as well. And all right, sweet. So let's go back to the projects here. Should we just go quick
Yeah,
and create a new
yeah,
project? We can,
absolutely. Let's
okay.
show the whole thing.
And Tanner, you got a project in mind?
Yeah. Let's do one where, let's say I'm a small business and I have customers, I want to reward them. So let's do like a customer reward system for me.
Sweet. Customer rewards. I have, what's your business type? We'll call it.
Let's do say that I'm a
Okay.
restaurant.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Rant, and I want a customer rewards app. Sweet. So the description just helps the AI know a little bit about your app. You don't have to type more than a sentence there. You'll have plenty of other opportunities to describe your app. So again, Ride and CodeBuddy, it's not about just being a code assistant that helps experienced coders develop. It's really about helping both non-technical and technical minds work together to create the full software process. That includes planning your software, doing the project management on your software, actually editing, code through AI on the software, and then publishing the software to different test and live environments here. So we're going to jump in for the first step, which is just planning your code. And you can just, if you're not sure what to do, you say, what do I do here? And the AI will guide you. You can see there's already some features already built into Ride. So you'll see some of that here.
Yeah, I love that part because
Management.
you get a good idea of understanding like what are the outputs before you even get started. So you can see like here's what's already there, a quick summary of it. You get user stories, you get acceptance criteria. So you just kind of even before you get going, you really understand, okay, like this is kind of the structure of the plan that we're building.
Yep. So we're going to say, I want to create a customer rewards app. I, this is for demo purposes only. Uh,
Yeah,
when
I
a
like the paragraph it even said like, let's start an easy one. Can you tell me a bit about what you want in this app to help your restaurant? Do you picture customers earning points when they eat? Do you want them to get special discounts? Do you want them to be able to send announcements, or something else entirely? So like, yeah, I would say, it should be like a fun mix of like them getting rewards for actually going to the store and purchasing things, but I also really love the idea of like spontaneously making offers to people to entice them to kind of come in too. So maybe we could do something where both they get to buy something and get points, but also then maybe depending on how many points they have or how loyal they are, they get special offers too. It'd be fun.
yeah, yeah. I like that. So I just put in the basic one first, which is when they buy stuff, they get points. Is there a specific way you want to purchase amounts into points? Is it one to one? Would they be able to pay for an entire item or we discount? What do you think, Tanner?
I would
One to one?
say, yeah, I would say like maybe 100 points equals $1 or something like that. We could say.
Gotcha.
I think that's a pretty typical, and then they can use those points for, dollar discounts or something like that.
Gotcha. So once they reach a certain number of points, they get a discount or some prize or
Yeah, maybe just a discount off of their
okay.
future order, like redeem it like a gift card.
Okay. We'll jump through this. This you can literally spend hours and hours on this, really taking time to create the strategy behind your business.
Yeah, this
For
it's the really fun part, in my opinion. I
yeah,
know I'm not the less developer, but it's really cool using the AI here, and it's kind of giving you ideas, really making you flesh it out, and ultimately, again, make it so specific that you could, build this yourself or pass it off to a developer, and they have enough understanding to actually execute it properly for you. So there's not a lot of miscommunication and frustration that can happen with it.
yep. So now what it's doing is it's taking the conversation we had, the strategic planning session that we just did, and it's putting it into software terms. So the first one is like, what are the definitions of my software? We talked about points being a definition. And the purpose of this is to make sure that there's consistency in your app. So when you're talking about some term, that your developers understand what you're talking about, that the AI understands what you're talking about, that when the AI is creating code, it's using the terms that everyone is aware of and knows about, so that it's very easy to read code, it's very easy to share code, it's very easy to bring new developers on, etc. And so you can see my definitions will be stored up here. It just proposed definitions. Now then it's asking me about the people on the app. So I want to say, yeah, this will just be between cashier and customer. And so what it's getting for next is like, who are the users of the app? That's what it's trying to fresh out for me. So in the default starter kit, we've got an admin and a regular user. It's updating those changes already to say, all right, now we have a cashier responsible for the customer purchase and then a customer. So I can accept those. I can respond back and say, oh, I want to also include, the wait staff or something. And then it'll go back and it'll provide that feedback and then it'll readjust it again. But you can see now my user types are here. Yes, for that basic info and add points. Again, we're trying to blaze through this just for demo purposes.
Yeah, we usually
Um,
spend quite a few hours, in this process because again, it's really fun to dissect it all and dream about it and tweak it. Like you said, all of these things are completely customizable by you. So if you want like the definition of what a cashier is to change to fit your business a little bit better, you definitely can do that. And just go through the whole process and really understand again what you're looking to build.
Yeah, it introduces a unique paradigm that is really tough in the software world, which is the product owners, they'll want to describe everything so that others can understand the totality of what the app does, but you only want to implement it piece by piece. So what this allows you to do is it allows you to create all sorts of different workflows and strategy for the app, so both the AI and the system context knows your grand vision of what you're trying to do, but then you can implement those in small features. And then as you learn over time more about your business and more about what your app's trying to do, you can go in and you can adjust the other workflows. So you're not stuck to these specific workflows. If you go to a typical, shop, you'll put in this big project and you can't really change from there. You're kind of quoted for that project. Here, it allows you to do some of that bigger planning, but then allows you to implement it more on a sprint by sprint
Yeah,
basis.
it works really well because it kind of becomes your source of truth. So everyone on the team kind of knows where we're at any given moment. Like you mentioned, things change, things pivot, and there is sometimes miscommunication where the product people who are designing and actually building the product are doing one thing, and then other people like the leadership or maybe sales team is on a different track because they didn't go into that last meeting or, missed an email. So at any point, you can come in here, understand, okay, this is what the software is doing. These are the user stories. These are the acceptance criteria, definitions, the users. So everyone's on that, in the same boat rowing together.
Yep. So you see that last piece of the triangle here is the workflows. So it talks about the workflow for this, and then it breaks it down to user stories, which are just really good descriptors of what should the user be able to do in this app, and then acceptance criteria. Again, you can respond back if anything's not correct here or you want to add on to it. And then those workflows get stored here. So you can see here's my new workflow, earning and redeeming points. I've got all of the user stories here, some acceptance criteria in there and too as well. And then I can keep going. I can keep adding new workflows, new definitions, but I'm going to jump on to the next step, which is the task planning. So this stage is where we get not super technical, but a little more technical. We kind of see this as an evolution of going from, very high level strategy on your software to this is where we take your workflows and we break them down to developer tasks. And I'll show you how to do that. So I'm going to click plan on that earning and redeeming points workflow. It may start breaking down the task. It may ask me a few questions first. In this case, it's going to ask me a question first. So it's going to say, should points be credited, redeemed in real time during the purchase transaction itself? Or is it acceptable for the point updates to be processed periodically at the end of the day or batches? I'm going to just say real time. This is 21st century, right?
Mm-hmm.
and and then it's going to propose one or more tasks. And one thing here is you can always respond back to it if you think the tasks are either too large or too small, and it will then go and adjust that task. And this is a stage where typically this process is done either between the developer and a product owner. If that's the same person, then it can be used by one person. We've had non-technical people go in here and actually plan out tasks and implement it themselves too. And so here you can see it's going to propose three different tasks for me. First one being implement the customer lookup. The second one be implement the points crediting on purchase, and then the points redemption discount. I can respond back to it and say, hey, you forgot about this. Or, hey, I want to, join all these tasks into one task. I think I can do them all in one task too as well. We'll keep them how it is, and we'll go. So you can see now I have three tasks, and these are more the tasks that are described for a developer's point of view, and not as much as the workflow, which is more towards like the strategy of the software. And you can see that certain tasks can't be completed until a previous task is completed. And so it's not going to let me go in and implement these second tasks until I do that. And the reason is because we want to make it really easily for you to build, but also test while you're building. So it doesn't help if you build something that you can't test while you're building too. And for me to move on to the next stage, all I have to do is pick the task I want to implement. In this case, there's only one I can implement right now because there's dependencies on these other tasks. Click implement task. And then it's going to go and it's going to fetch my starter kit, which is the starting template. It has a ton of functionality and features already built in um, for helping you build a full, like, professional grade software app with professional architecture into it. And now you're going to be in our coding view. So we've got the code files over here as well. Focus view shows the files that are most important. Non-focus view shows the entire solution. Here's the front end, here's the back end. And then you can see we can run the solution. It took my task and already put it into the chat. I can click here and I can go back and I can see the task description, the requirements to complete that task. So I want to make sure as a developer, I want to hit all these requirements. And then when I'm finished with the task, I can click complete task. For now, it took that. It's going to outline a scenario for me. It's got all setting these up. I can read these. I can respond to these. And it's going to ask me some questions. So should matching substrings contain case insensitive for both name and phone? Or should the search return inactive deleted customers or only active ones? Assume active ones, correct?
I think so.
So let's do case insensitive. Sweet. Yes, and say proceed. And now it's going to suggest the code. So it's going to add the phone, points, exactive, all that stuff. And then it's going to go make all those suggestions. We're not going to actually build this live. It's probably going to make a whole slew of other suggestions.
Yeah, what I do love about our product, especially, is that it is bringing the code into the forefront. So it is showing you exactly what it's doing. So it's taking out these things, it's adding this, it's creating new files, updating new things. So again, you're in kind of that driver's seat the whole time. And you're not just necessarily like requiring the AI to do everything for you, which can lead to some problems later. So if you notice something that isn't quite right to spec, you fix it as you need, or you can talk to the AI and so actually approach it this way. It's a really nice way to build while you're assisted by AI, but you're not really, you're still in control of the AI, which is really great.
Correct. Probably shouldn't have. This will make a lot of changes. So you can see as I'm making changes, all those changes are shown up here. We make it really easy to undo changes as well. You can go in and click on the individual file to undo, or you can undo all changes down here. So you can see as it's suggesting them, it's also just, it's kind of cool. I've never actually opened this while it's suggesting changes. You can kind of just see it build.
Yeah, that is fun.
It looks like it's done there. Anyways, also running the solution here, I can run it up here. I'm not going to run it because it'll probably, I haven't finished implementing it. So it'll probably break. You can run the solution. If it does break, it will notify you the errors. You can click a button and we'll actually paste those errors into the chat. So you can have Ride fix the errors for you as well. And then you can commit the changes here, say base commit or something. Once you make a base commit to as well, you can also go in and then I'm going to go back and close that. So that was taking me so I could do another task, but I'm going to actually complete the task. You can also see you can go back to previous threads too as well. So if you exit the program and you have to go eat dinner or something and you want to come back, you won't lose all your threads. So now you can see my task is no longer on here. Now I'm ready to do the next task. I can go on and do the next task here, or if I'm ready to deploy that task, you can see that now that task, if I go over to when I'm ready to publish my software, I can publish my software and you can see that task now shows up here too as well. So, and right now everything is working locally. So there's no cost to do anything locally. You're just running stuff and previewing stuff and building app. And if you're just need to use your app only on your machine, you don't have to host it on the cloud. There's no additional costs there. It'll just run the front end and the back end, and even database and authorization just directly on your machine. Now, if you are ready to push it up to the cloud so other users can use it, all you have to do is click add a new environment. And let's call this environment test environment. We do have you put a password on this new environment so that only you and the people you share it with can deploy to this same environment if and only if they have the password for security purposes. And so now it's going to go ahead and it's going to create all of the resources I need to run and host and authenticate and store data on this professional, grade app. So it's creating Azure hosting resources. It's creating Supabase authentication and database resources. It's setting up my code repository and code management in there right now. That's going to run, and then it's going to pop up and it will show me my new environment, and then also show me, I can click on the URL to view the app in that environment. I can click on any of the resources to go see where the resources are hosting. I can deploy that.
So at this stage, do we create the GitHub beforehand, or is it created in this stage?
No, you're right. The GitHub is already created. It's pushing it to the GitHub app. But when you first create your project and account, the version control is already set up.
Yeah,
Thanks.
so you don't have to have cloud, Azure accounts set up and ready before
Correct.
you can collaborate on the code and all that, and everyone can just run it locally, essentially.
Yeah. And so, yeah, your code will be backed up on your machine when it clones to your machine. So you can run it locally. You can actually go to, your file explorer, and you can open up your user. Let me pull it up. So you can see here's my customer rewards app, and you can see all the code to it. It's literally on your local machine. And then when you make changes, it keeps versions of that changes, and then it pushes those changes up to the cloud.
Mhm.
And you can have, more than one person working on the same software. They'll each have different branches and sessions. And then when they push, they'll each just push up to the cloud. So you can see here's some of the other things.
Yeah, but we're not, we're no, previously we were using GitHub, which you had to pay monthly for. Now we're using our own service, correct?
Correct. Yeah. To save customers even more money, we literally spun up our own clone of a version management service so that you don't have to pay for that, so that you have full control of it too as well.
Awesome.
So now you can see that my new test environment is complete. You can click on edit configs and it'll show you all of the values within that environment. You can click here and it will take you to like the Supabase project for that environment. And it will take you, I'm not going to click the Azure. It'll take you to Azure. You have to log into that Azure to do that. So I'm not going to do that. And then it'll also allow you to open the URL for this, but there will actually be nothing on the original URL. It'll just say your new site is ready. Because you do have to deploy your first change to that site. So the first change that I made, we don't automatically just deploy a blank starter kit to a new environment you created. When you deploy this first task, it will deploy both all the starter kit code and the first task that you actually updated on there too as well. All you have to do is click deploy change here, and it will go and it will deploy that code. And then when you click on here, this will work. So I'm not going to deploy it because I didn't even check to see if this would build.
Yeah, you stopped it partway through.
But that's how it works. And then if you wanted to create a production environment for your customers, you can see that these have their own domains on them that you can just send to people. It's really easy to just go to Azure. You click on, go to the front end Azure view, and it's really easy to Azure to put a custom domain. So if you've got your own domain, something.com, you can just redirect that to this domain and it will send it there. So what am I missing, Tanner?
Yeah, I guess the only thing that I'm thinking about as well, so we talked about Ride. What are some of the services and things if I'm looking for help? Like you mentioned CodeBuddy experts. How does that all work?
Yeah. So we've got a couple. Let's go back to where we were here. This was the docs before we went to the website, right? Um, so we've got a few things. So like you said, we've got our build it for me process, whereas if you're coming in and you don't have the time or the confidence to use Ride, which we've had non-technical users who've had no sophisticated software training use Ride before, you can come in and you can get a project quote from us, where we can help you throughout the entire process. We pair you up with a project manager and a software engineer. We use our Ride software to make sure that you can help do the planning in the software, and we help you do the project management. Our CodeBuddy goes into your account and he develops on your account too as well. And we share kind of how some of that process works. It's pretty simple, and there is a minimum 5K per sprint on there, and then some questions here. And then another thing we do too as well is our expert, code buddies are available for task level help too as well. For and not so much as like just helping you get stuck, but it's like, hey, if you want them to help create some certain component that's more of building features and work on there, then they're available in that sense as well.
Yeah. So you can just have the amount of support that you need, which has been great. So you can kind of scale up, scale down. Like let's say if we were wanting to expand that app further with customer rewards, and maybe we're wanting to tie it into our restaurant system, if they had some sort of open API to connect to it, you could actually integrate it more and more and make it a lot higher value than just being kind of a demo app or anything like that.
Yep.
Cool. Well, yeah, I'm super excited to get this release out to more and more people and ultimately see what they can plan and build with it. So, like you said, the biggest changes, honestly, is in the pricing. So, go to the codebuddy.com and download Ride for free. With that, you'll be able to get the starter kit plus $10 in free AI credits to just start planning and building. From there, if you are liking what you're getting, you just refill your tokens one at a time or set up, the refill system and you just keep on building. And then, of course, if you need any support, you can reach out, have a CodeBuddy expert do tasks for you, or get a quote to have a CodeBuddy, build your project for you. But again, unlike previous services where you just kind of like, okay, here's the thing, and we go away and deliver, you're actually in the fold the whole time. And that's one of the cool things is we use Ride, you'll use Ride, we'll be planning, you'll know where we're at with stuff. You get delivery, you can look at the code, you can ask the AI questions, you can ask the CodeBuddy questions. All these things, are like a true collaboration the whole way through again, rather than the traditional method of paying and praying, I guess.
Yep. Yep. People always ask for examples of like solutions that are built in Ride, and we always tell them too that Ride is built in Ride. So it has immense power and capabilities to do anything you want as a founder or developer.
Awesome. Well, we will end the video there. And yeah, we hope you all enjoy all the new stuff. Download it and get started today.